welcome back to my channel. I'm super happy to have you all here, and I would love to get to know my community better, and the only way that can happen is if you interact with me in the comment section. Now this week I would like for you to share in the comment section, how do you stay safe, especially in this heightened season where we're seeing increased in criminal activities, aka robberies here in Jamaica.
Pay attention to my messaging.
There's a blessing awaiting you over there, and all your stressing, they will quickly disappear. Whoa.
Now from the title of my video, you can tell that I already have a little story to tell about how I almost got robbed. Now, there's a sharp difference on my avenue where I work of activities. So right before the four-way intersection, there's a lot of restaurants, other business places, and there's even a school. So there is a lot of activities taking place. Now, right as you pass that intersection, there's a sharp difference. The road is just so lonely and quiet after that. However, where I work is not too far from the intersection, right? And being that I kind of know what to expect on the road because I hear people talking about it. Like the first time I started working there, while I was walking to the restaurant, somebody mentioned, make sure your phone in your pocket, blah blah blah, bikers on the street and such. So once I was heading into the office now, or walking along the way to get to the office, I saw a bike coming in the opposite direction. Right away, my alert spiked, and I stepped further onto the sidewalk. I had the bag on the inside, and I held on to the strap, right? And I was making sure I keep an eye on him. Now this is what he did. He pretended to pass me, and then he made a sharp U-turn and came and stopped right beside of me. Now logically, you would think that I should run, but my game plan was not to run, right? And just as he was about to step off the bike, he was putting his hand in his waist to take something out. Obviously it must have been a weapon, but just as he was about to do that and I was ready to take action with my game plan, a van came blowing his horn real hard and scared him off, and he just took off down the road. Now the driver of the van said to me, "Baby, you never see what just happened? You never see someone try rob you?" So I was saying to him, yes, you know, I actually was looking at watching him, and I had a game plan. So he said, okay, but he drove with me the rest of the way to the office. So by the time he decided to drive with me, I reach. So I'm like, then I just right here, so you in plan for rob you? Guys, where I work, the number marks 25. And the guy was about to rob me at number 27. Literally, I had 2 more minutes to get inside. Now, with that said, I have some little tips, safety tips that I try to practice on my route to and from work. I literally walk about 20 minutes to work from the destination where I come off the taxi or the bus, and then walk that route again to go home. So the first tip I will leave is to be alert. Guys, do not be on your phones scrolling. I see that happening a lot while I'm going to work. A lot of persons have their head down in their phone. Obviously they're looking up now and again, but it means that you're not fully alert. You have persons with the earphones in. Why? That makes no sense. You need to be hearing everything that is happening around you. Maybe if the earphones was too loud, I would not have heard the bike coming from a distance. I would have just noticed when he got a little closer. Right? So no headphones, no phone scrolling. Make sure you're always looking around you where possible. Look behind you, guys, and just check your environment as you travel. And I'm especially talking to those of us who walk a lot and doing this on your own, right? Tip number 2, have a plan. Now, think about several scenarios that can possibly happen and have a solution, right? Now, I have thought about being robbed by one of those bikers several times because you just hear it. I keep hearing it in the news and such, right? Now, my game plan was not to run, first of all, because I know that once I start running, then the heart rate will be pumping and there will be more fear than trying to be logical and trying to actually get out of the situation safely. And I don't want to be running and then fumbling and falling and then make the situation even worse. So my plan was to have him stop. Then just as he was about to come off was when I would hit him with the element of surprise and hit him with my bag and give him a good lick because my phone and shoes and other things is in my bag. And then I would run because my destination was just 2 minutes away, right? And running, it would be even probably 30 seconds. I can run, guys. I can run, right? So think of possible scenarios. What would happen if you took a taxi and you found out that you might be in harm's way? Oh, there's a tip for taxis where possible. Always, guys, do not be the first to go in it, or make sure that when they call your destination, so if they're saying half a tree, make sure it's several of you from the bus stop going in it at the same time. Do not be the first to go in the taxi. Secondly, for the tip of taxis, where possible, always sit behind the driver. I always try to do that. Always sit behind the driver. First of all, the driver is always going to be trying to save himself and keep himself safe. So even in an accident where he's swerving, he's more thinking about saving his life than saving the passengers. And it happens to everybody. Also, you'll be at a better advantage to probably hold him in the neck. Yeah, from behind the seat. And you really can't. He might show the gun to say, hey, I have a gun, but it would be very difficult for him to navigate pointing the gun behind him or trying to hold you directly behind him. So, where possible, sit behind the driver if you're going into the taxis, right? So, think about the scenarios and what your game plan to getting out of them, so that if it does happen, you probably have an idea of what you're already going to do. Right. Tip number 3. Travel with company. Where possible, try to not be the only one walking. Right? And if possible also, if you see a group of other friends or company, well, we're in the COVID time, so social distancing. So try to walk where you mostly see the crowd and such. So try not to be too secluded and walking by yourselves. There's strength in unity, guys. There is strength in unity. Tip number 4. Plan your route. Know exactly where you're going, what road you're going to take, what bus you're going to take, if you're going to take the bus, if you're going to take the taxis. Know your route. And knowing your route also means if you're going to be doing an errand, say you have business on the road, right? And you have several stops to make. So you're going to go to this business place and this business place. Know the order of your route so that you can lessen your time on the road. And you know that, all right, if I go to probably the further one first and then make my way down, so that when your last stop is closest to your bus stop or your taxi stand, right? So know which place you're going to stop before. So that would eliminate indecisiveness, so that there won't be too long window of you making a decision. While you're making a decision and planning and such, you're probably even thinking and fumbling through your bag and all of those things happening while you're thinking what to do next. And that leaves a window of you not being at your optimal in alertness, right? Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense, right? And tip number 5, guys, I don't want to make the video too long because I want to give you a lot of time in the comment section to share your tips with me, cause right? And planning also means changing up your route. So for me, I have to make the 20 minutes walk to work daily, right? Now this means probably persons can see my route, know exactly what time I get to where, because I have to get to work at a certain time every single morning. So to make that happen and to make sure I get to work on time, I have to leave my house a certain time, reach to a certain spot at a certain time to ensure that I get to work early. So there are possibility of persons actually watching my steps. So what I do is change my route. Sometimes I walk on this side, sometimes I walk on this side. Sometimes I take a taxi to work, while the next time I'm coming out of the bus park, while the next time my husband is taking me to work. So we have to change it up, right? And while I would love for my husband to be taking me to work every morning, that's not possible because he starts work half hour before I do, and he works from home and he's here with the children, and the children have to start class while he starts work, right? So I have to now make sure I am extremely safe while I have to take the journey on my own. So it means doing all of these things that I mentioned before, and especially changing up my route. I make sure you can't study me. Don't try study me. It makes sense. They can't tell me that every Monday I pass here or every Tuesday I pass here. No, there are several ways to get to work, so I make sure I use that up. And my final tip is to keep your bag on the inside, not away from the street, and keep your bag on the inside. You don't want to, when you're walking on the street, it makes it easy for somebody to just pass and grab your bag. That was the scenario with the biker, right? Because my bag was on the inside, he wasn't able to just drive past and grab my bag and keep moving. He had to make the extra effort to stop, come off the bike and all of that. And then all of that gave him, well, more time for the van to pass, right? And I want to leave with you guys something that I learned that week. So those were the 5 tips. Tip number 1, be alert. Number 2, have a plan. Number 3, travel with company. Number 4, plan your errands / routes. And 5, keep your bags or your luggage on the inside away from the street. And what I learned that week was that fear will take over. Well, fear did take over. For the few coming week, I was scared walking on the route, getting to work. But then the Lord placed some devotionals and some songs, and He just found a way to throw those in to get me back to knowing that fear is not of God. Right? I cannot let the attempt of a robbery stop my progress, stop me from living life, and cripple my actions, my moves, right? And even in the devotion of work, the situation came up. And while I didn't plan on sharing with the entire office about the scenario of the robbery, that daily devotional I shared with everybody else the situation, because I had already told a few co-workers, right? So that is it, guys. Do not let the season of the heightened criminality put so much fear in you that you will be crippled to continue living life as normal as you possibly can, right? So that's where I want to leave the video. Fear is not of God, and keep moving and try to live life as normal as possible in this season. So thank you guys for watching, and please, there's 124 of you guys. Please share with me in the comment section your tips and how did you have you have a situation where you've been robbed and how did you overcome that. Share with us so the entire community may benefit from what you have to share. And until next time, see you in my next video.
Stressing from both left and right. You need a daily dose of blessing right up in your life. I know it feels so very difficult and depressing, but you gotta hold on to the positive and keep on pressing. The blessing, you know, if you need it, then you can't stop. We keep rising.